Hey guys, welcome to the Mass. I don't know what the heck kind of pose that was. I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm a meathead. Guys, welcome to the Massive Iron Channel. I'm Steve Shaw, editorial director at TigerFitness.com and Muscle and Brawn Nutrition CEO. I'm a power builder. I'm not a bodybuilder. So, I want to talk about German volume training because it's been a while since I have talked about this form of training. I've done videos in the past, but it's probably been a couple years since I talked about it. But it is a recurring question. Over the years, over the last 2 decades, I get so many questions about German volume training or even Vince Gironda's 8x8 training. Dear big hairy, ugly dude, should I use it, etc.? What do you think? What are your thoughts? How long should I run it, etc., etc.? I just want to regurgitate, reiterate, and do a lot of other words that start with R when it comes to this type of training, give you my thoughts. Just a few quick thoughts on German volume training. Number one, I find it boring as heck. I find it boring as heck because there's a limited amount of exercises, and I find that it gets old really quickly. Just my personal experience. Number two, in the last 10 years, dealing with people who ran this program, I rarely ever see anybody stick to the program. Number one, because it's repetitive and boring. And number two, because it's brutal. It's extremely brutal. And number three, I honestly don't think enough guys eat enough to make this type of program work. It's an intense type of workout. I did a German volume training 10x10 squats with 90 seconds of rest in between sets. And I literally had the worst leg DOMs of my life. And 8 days later, I was still incredibly sore. I couldn't even squat. I physically could hardly even walk, and I sure couldn't squat on my next leg day. So there's a number of reasons why guys don't stick to German volume training. Boredom, repetitiveness, just the brutality of the training, or they don't see results because they aren't willing to eat enough. I think if you're going to run an extreme type of program like German volume training, you need to do so at least a 500 calorie surplus, if not a 750 calorie surplus over your maintenance. Because if you're going to beat the living heck out of your body with this type of training, you're going to need extra materials for recovery. I don't recommend just a slight bulk above maintenance, like 300 calories. 500 calories might be okay. But again, this is the most brutal type of training I have done. And if you're going to run this type of training, and if you're going to experience this extreme amount of muscle soreness and DOMs, I really recommend a more aggressive bulk because you're going to be running it over the short term. It isn't going to make you Blubber McBlubberton fat, but it might help you recover. So just keep that in mind. Do I think it's worth it? For the natural trainee, simply stated, no. I don't think it's a magic program. Over the long run, as a natural, if you stick with progression, if you stick with quality exercises, if you make every set count, it's using a short-term run of German volume training isn't going to change the amount of gains you experience over a 2, 3, 4 year period of time. That's not to say you shouldn't try it. That's not to say there's not any value in trying it. I'm just stating that German volume training for the natural lifter isn't a miracle. Now, if you're an enhanced lifter and you want to try it, and you're on all kinds of stuff, whatever that may be, you're probably going to experience better results than the natural training would. A natural training can only get so big. And even if you could push that curve ahead by 1 additional extra pound over the next couple months using German volume training, it just means you have less to gain in the future. So, is it worth it? I really don't think German volume training is worth it for the natural lifter, meaning that they aren't going to see this huge spurt in gains like whatever article talked about, the magic of German volume training, the magic of Gironda training. There's so many articles out there talking about how so-and-so ran it, how the Russians ran it, how this person ran it, and they made great progress. As a natural, you're not going to see those type of gains. You're not going to see 5, 8, 10 pounds of muscle mass gains in a short period of time unless you're a complete noob eating like a freak. As an intermediate natural, you're not going to see those kinds of results. You might see a pound, maybe a 2-pound spurt of muscle gains, but that's it. But I believe you could do that just with training hard and using just about any wise program. So for the natural, I really don't think. For the natural intermediate, I really don't see it as beneficial. And for the natural beginner, I think you're just better off running a wise program for a couple years than doing something radical like this. So I'm not dead set against German volume training. I just think for naturals, it's just, there's too much hype behind the program. There's too many people that, over the years, it's just been too much German volume training. It's been propped up as some miracle program. I simply don't think it is. It is brutal. It will induce a lot of DOMs. If you eat a lot of food, it might push you ahead of the curve by a pound or two in the short run, but it's certainly not a magic program for naturals that's going to help you at 5, 8, 10 pounds of mass unless you're a beginner eating tons of food, eating tons and tons of food, and then still I don't think it's the best form of training. Doing 100 reps of squats before you have mastered the squat form or have good squat form, I don't think is necessarily a good idea. So guys, hope this video has been of some help. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, please do. I'd appreciate the support. Check out Huge Gainer. It is the ultimate post-workout shake with 25 grams of carbs, 3-to-1 carb-to-protein ratio, which is optimal post-workout. Tastes great, and it's only $24.99 Tiger Fitness. Check out both of my books below and my Muscle and Brawn t-shirts because I would appreciate the support. So guys, as always, thanks for watching, and have a great day. I actually left.